All right. So, welcome everyone. I'm glad we're all here. I'm glad we're hanging out. Hi, April. Welcome. I am broadcasting live here. I'm also broadcasting live on a couple of whatchamacallits, websites, a couple of like Facebook and stuff like that. So, welcome to the Learning Circle. I hope that you all will enjoy today. Tonight, we're gonna try to talk about some things. And if you have any requests about that, like I'd really love for you to talk about, just let me know. Just kind of reach out to me and say, you can put it in the comments. If you're in Discord, you can raise your hand and you can speak, um, or whatever suits you. Okay, and uh, if there's anything that you're curious about. So I don't know how everyone's been doing, but the astrology is pretty intense right now. We're all kind of witnessing what's going on in our world, and it has a lot to do. It is reflected in the astrology, lots of Aries energy. So that's what's going on in most of our worlds. If it's scary to you, I can understand why. Most of us are scared, I think, and we have a good reason to be scared, right? So, I just want to validate that, and also remind you that you did agree to be here, right? You did agree to be in this time, in this here, in this now. Um, so, you know, why we choose to be in this time, well, that might have something, we might figure that out at some point. We might know what we're here to do, or why we're here. And so I invite you to share that with me. I'd love to know why you think you're here. Does anyone have any idea why they might be here? Like, I know why I'm alive, but like some people know, some people don't. And I just wonder if anyone ever, like, if you have an intuitive sense about it. For me, I think I had an intuitive sense, and then it's still, I would say that it's still unfolding. Like, I still discover new reasons to be here, or more reasons to be here, um, and in this time, and why I'm here in this time. And it's I think that it's sort of developed over time. Like, just over time, it has become more and more things have made sense, right? So, um, and I think most people have some intuitive sense of why they're here. They may not word it that way. They might say, "Oh, I'm supposed to do this," or "This is my calling." That's often how people describe it, but I think we're saying the same thing. So, um, if you have any questions, there is a way to find it in your astrology chart. You just want to look, um, not only how your astrology chart is set up. Still no sound. Huh. Can you guys not hear me on? Somebody can't hear. So, all right. Sorry to hear that, Melissa. If you're in, you want to find the user settings, is probably what you want to do. So, can you hear me? Can anyone else text or say anything? I can't hear you. Huh. Can anyone else hear me anywhere else? Hello, hello. Hello, can you hear me now? Hello? Hello, can you hear? Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, Melissa? Yeah. I don't know what happened there. So, um, hi, Daniela. Hi, Angie. You guys can hear me on YouTube and Facebook. So I think I fixed it in Discord saying it as well. Um, and, so here I am letting you all know that I'm in Discord and I can hear you if you want to go in there. I'm happy to listen to you. And heck, you can even show your video and I'll share you on here if you'd like. You can join me live if you want. But anyway, if you have any questions, just throw them up in the comments or the chat. And it's so weird that you can't hear me because it says here that you can. Weird. And when I test it in the sound area, it says that it works. Yep. Let me check. Yep, it works. Yep. Can you hear me now? Yep. Huh. Okay. I don't know. I have no idea why it's not working in Discord. That's unfortunate. So, how do I get a birth chart done? Tanny, you can just make an appointment with me if you want. Yes, Daniela, I have a dog. You can always get an astrology reading done with me. You'll just need your birthday, time, and place. And then we can start with a basic birth chart reading. What does it tell you? The shorter list is what doesn't it tell you? And I'm still trying to think hard about what it doesn't tell you. It tells you everything about your life. Absolutely everything from your physical body to your emotions, your spiritual, your past lives, your future lives, your connections with others, your what your life will look like, what your destiny is, what your calling is, how you'll make money, how you're connected to others, and what your love language is, and how you heal from a variety of things, including, trauma or physical things. And um, I can't think of, there's so many things that you can learn from getting an astrology reading done. Like I can't think of anything that you couldn't get done in there. Like even if you're having some health problems, they used to use astrology. Doctors and stuff used to use astrology. Like every MD could read any astrology chart, especially back in like the 1920s and stuff, because people were like, that's what they used for diagnosis. And I do medical astrology. So that's like, I can, like, if you're trying to find good wellness or, you're struggling with something, I can use the astrology to heal you or guide you or counsel you, and help you get through things in life. And, I've done everything from grief coaching to trauma coaching. Cheryl is saying, helped me so much to understand my abusive moms and my path. Yeah. See, and just coming to an understanding of why you're here and why you're connected to these people and how life is so much bigger, you know? So, mm, I'm sure, I'm sure that's not true, Tony. Okay. So, all right. Huh. I don't know why people can't hear me on Discord, but that sucks. At least I'm here. Do you tell people if something bad will happen? I don't really see bad things. I can see things that might be uncomfortable. It might hurt, but I don't really label them as bad, Barbara. But yes, I will give you a warning. I will. I'll say, um, I'll say something like, this could be a challenging time for you. It could be a little rough, right? Excuse me. I'm trying to overcome a cold that I got when I was with my grandkids. Why do little kids always have so much germs? Okay, is there anything with me I'm happy to hear? It's just a heads up. Yeah, yep. Um, Most people want a warning if something bad is going to happen. If you don't, tell me that before we start. Okay? You're welcome, Barbara. And I don't usually say, like, your husband's going to leave you. I'm probably not going to say that. What I would probably say is, your husband might be questioning the validity of your relationship. Because I think it's free will to choose to leave or not leave. So, does anyone else have any questions? I wasn't able to get it to go in the group for some reason. Hmm. So, um, so I think that when you look at your astrology chart, you can learn a lot about yourself. You can learn who you are and why you're here. And you can learn about, what your destiny is and what are you meant to do and what should you be doing and all of those kinds of things could be really helpful. I can't imagine living life. Um, Tanny, just get Tanny asked, which one should I get done? It's my first time. You should just get a regular astrology natal chart reading with transits. Mm-hmm. Oh, Barbara. Well, I don't know if I can be heard in Discord. Maybe you can go see. Barbara says she's gonna hop on to Discord. You can also hop on YouTube. I don't remember if you've been on YouTube before, Barbara. Maybe. Hmm? So, okay. Angie, you're trying to find your time of birth. Did you look on your birth certificate? It's not on there? Angie said, it doesn't say anymore. Then you have to go to your birth record or ask your mom. I see. Well, isn't that silly? We used to be really strict about keeping our time around our birth, because like in India over there, it's very common to get an astrology reading. That's how they do arranged marriages usually. Today's society issues. Anyway, what's happening right now is meant to happen. Hi, Clara. I think we all got maybe a little too comfortable by taking for granted our freedoms. So, hey, Kat. Hey, Kat. I don't know what's going to happen, I don't know, but it's all pretty scary stuff. That's for sure. I think I said that in the beginning, is that there's a lot of scary shit going on right now. Hi, Cindy. And I don't know. I mean, what it's going to take is everybody coming together to fight this thing, and right now the astrology has kind of set this up. So 4:30 a.m. Australia time. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. 4:30 like tomorrow morning, Tanny. Barbara's like, I'll just stay here. I don't know what's going on. I don't. I'm not sure what you want me to speak about it, Kat. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I know that it comes from the Bible. It seems like it's about like the number of specific souls chosen by God that will experience salvation. I think that it's kind of BS. 144,000 awakening. Um, so, um, oh, okay. All right, Tanny. If that works for you, it's cool. So Kat, I'm not sure what you're saying really, but what I know about that term is that it comes from the Bible and it refers to like how many souls will be saved or whatever. So I don't know if like people like are people like thinking that's what's happening right now, because that's not what's happening. We're in the age of Aquarius. Aquarius means all of us together. It means all of us have to come together. It means the collective. That's what Aquarius stands for. And Pluto in Aquarius says, why are we separated by borders? And we are all one being. We are all human beings. No, Kat, if you look it up, Kat, the 144,000 is a reference out of the Bible. I can quote it exactly for you if you'd like. It's part of it says it's part of the Christ consciousness, and I'm not really into Christ consciousness or anything, so it is about an awakening thing, and so you might just want to go look up that yourself. Just Google it. You might be surprised at what it says. Okay. And so Aquarius energy is very much about the collective. It's about we the people. It's about like, you know, all of the people coming together for a mutual thing. And so I think that you know, for most of us right now, we chose to be here in this time. You know, I believe that most of us are reincarnated over and over again, and and uh and so, you know, I think Pluto in Aquarius, that's what we've been experiencing since like COVID, and it's been kind of gearing up and getting stronger and stronger. And while we're being separated, because Pluto tends to destroy anything it touches, it also transforms and rebirths. So, you know, this is going to be a 20-year process. And I think we're like a year or so into it. And so that's essentially like we, the people, feeling where we're separated, which is by borders, race, and gender, and then figuring out how that hurts us, learning that lesson, and then healing it on the other side, coming through in a way where we say, yeah, Barbara, you find your purpose by looking at your north node on your astrology chart. Mm-hmm. Plus, if you have any yods or finger of God, mm-hmm. Or mystic rectangles. And your whole chart is really your destiny, really. But it's a little bit more specific. But there are some things in your chart that you can like adjust, that will change over time, that will transform and evolve, right? And that's what's happening on a bigger note, like of all people right now. All people right now are evolving. People are changing. The human race on planet Earth is changing right now. It is going through a major transformation, and that transformation is not necessarily very easy. And transformation never is easy, you know, like anytime you've had to go through any major changes, I'm sure it was a rough ride. But once you got on the other side and you look back, you were like, gosh, I'm glad I came through, you know? And, and I think that, I think that just like understanding that life is a journey, like if you could just like keep that in your head during this time, just know that it's not going to last forever. Um, it's not going to last forever. Just keep telling yourself that this won't last forever. This is changing. We're in a process of change, and this is what happens when we're in a process of change. And it doesn't mean that you should sit back and not go to that protest. Oh hell no. The point of Pluto and Aquarius is to go to the protest. It's to be part. You promised you would. That's why you're alive. Or if you're feeling called to speak out or to help people or send money to somebody or do something local in your political area or something like that, then that's what you need to do. You need to listen to that call inside of you. All of you do. Every single person on earth needs to. And it's funny because when I do so many astrology charts, when I do a person's astrology chart, like half of the stuff that I say, they're like, you're validating me, but I'm validating them on such an intense level that they almost can't believe it. And I think, oh, Barbara, that would be what a great birthday gift. You wouldn't be the only person. A lot of people get their reading on their birthday. Yeah, we call that a solar return chart, Barbara. Solar return, because right, like if the sun returns to the spot it was when you were born on your birthday. Haha, right? Okay, solar return. And you know, the thing is that like we're all here for a reason. You're here, I'm here, and I don't think there's going to be, Kat's hosting a sign making party tomorrow night. Well, look at that. See what I mean? And so all of us are supposed to be here. It is kind of a large awakening, Kat. I think that there are some things in the Bible that might be accurate. But I'm just saying that, like, you know, that while things are transforming, I just want you to always remind yourself right now during this time. I just want you to remind yourself that we're in a transformational phase. This won't last forever. This will end. It might be hard right now, but this will change. And, you know, keep yourself safe. Do what you have to do. Take care of yourself and your family and run if you gotta, okay? Like, I'm not saying don't do any of those things. I'm just saying that when it's hard and you're asking yourself, well, why the hell is this happening? Just know that there's something beyond this that's much bigger than you or me or even just everyone that's listening right now. It's beyond that. It's even beyond all the people that aren't listening, right? Okay, it's a bigger part of humanity's shift. With Pluto and Aquarius is a huge shift. Okay, and by the time Pluto has done this, we will be on an entirely new path, right? Like an entirely new way of being a world of humans. We will all connect in a completely new way. And I like to believe in like where borders and color of your skin or your gender doesn't matter, and we're all just one big human race, and we're doing everything we can for our planet, and we all just give our planet lots of love, and we find a way to get our needs met, and also live with planet Earth. And might be some sacrifices, but I also think there would be some gains in that. And I think that Humanity absolutely has a potential to come together as an amazing race that is evolutionarily high vibrating and overwhelmingly loving, kind, and compassionate to each other. I think we could all do that, and I think we're working towards that. And I do kind of think there's kind of an awakening, Kat, but it's been going on for quite some time. It was going on back during it. It really sort of started to like got a kickoff during the COVID pandemic, right? So like while we might be, struggling with something personally, or we might have struggled with the pandemic for a variety of reasons. uh, Overall, humanity learned a lot of things in that process, and especially now, when we look back, right? Like now we can look back and we can go, wow, what did we learn during the pandemic? We learned that when humans go away, that nature comes back. How many times did you watch the video of the deer walking through the park in China or whatever it was? Um, and how many times did you hear about the animals coming back, right? So when something is terrible, I think sometimes it can turn out to be our next step in enlightenment. And I don't believe that we suffer for nothing. Um, Kat said, I take all religious texts with a grain of salt because they're all written by men who are fallible and have their own agendas. I know the world is crazy, but I refuse to live in fear. Okay. I know that the truth of things that money, zip codes, skin color, gender, sexuality makes zero matter in spirit. Of course. So I'm trying to walk in life as a spirit as I exist in the world. Okay. Great. That's awesome, Kat. Awesome for you. Yeah. So I feel that, most of us listening right now, most of us, we can feel our connection with each other, and we can feel alone in our world, and at the same time, all connected as well, right? So, like we, in a spiritual sense, all of us are connected no matter where we are in the world. And I think the internet proves that again and again. It and when you can translate, across language borders and things like that, you realize that people from beyond other borders are experiencing the same thing. So what do you think is going to happen to humans that live another 10, 20 years with the internet? We're going to learn we're going to learn that just because someone's from a different language or from a different country or from a different race, that it doesn't matter. And we're going to be able to hear each other and truly hear each other. And while it might seem like the internet separates us, I think that later it will bring us together. I think the World Wide Web is more powerful than you think. I think it's a web of that will connect us all, that will help people understand each other's perspective, and eventually it will help us grow into better human beings. And maybe I have that hope because I spend time with kids or whatever, but um, and maybe I'm a pretty strong optimist, and you know but I'd rather walk around optimistic than in fear, that's for sure. So, while it is terrible what is happening right now, it's absolutely horrible, absolutely horrifying. There's part of me that knows that um, that what is happening right now will change. You know, it will change. I don't like it. I wish it would stop. I wish I had the physical body to be able to go down there and help, but I know that everybody protesting would tell me to go home, because of the heart condition I live with. But we are all one, and that's why some people are meant to protest, and maybe I'm meant to be here live talking to all of you, telling you. Maybe I'm meant to be here reassuring you that you're going to be okay, and that what's happening right now is meant to happen. And while it might be scary and it'll probably lead us to some hard places, at the same time, we want to go forward through this, not backwards. And I don't think anyone can put on the brakes right now. So I think we just have to go through it. And then once we get on the other side, I think we're all going to be okay, though. Okay? Like, I don't think, I think that there's probably going to be some bad things that happen. But I also think that we're all going to be okay on the other side. Okay? So I've been seeing this for years in my dreams and in my visions going forward. Sometimes finding the timing to things that you see as a psychic are not very easy. And as a psychic, sometimes you carry a burden of knowing what's going to happen, or having some idea of the heaviness that lies ahead, like when the pandemic was starting. And I think that it's a little bit of a heaviness, and that some of us live with, and because we know that it's there. So does anyone have any questions? You guys can put your questions in the comments. And I just thought I would address the here and now, because clearly it's on everybody's mind, That's totally awesome, Kat. See, you found your role. See, Kat said, I'm too broken in my body to march, but I can support those who want my energy. So I'm an artist, and I'm making stencils for the sign party. Fabulous. That is so important, Kat. Kimberly wants a massage. And so today, this is a learning circle. This is where you can ask questions. I've been a medium most of my life. I'm 50 years old. And how are you taking care of yourself in this madness? I constantly reassure myself that it's supposed to be unfolding this way, same way I'm reassuring you. I trust myself. Yep. Suggestions for self-care. Honestly, listening to astrology is the best thing I do, Kat. I know that seems weird, but if I just lay back, throw on some YouTube, and put on a great astrologer, I'm reassured. I'm reassured. And Angie, right now, let me educate you. I'm not sure it's a good idea for you to stay disconnected right now. It's not good, not for your well-being. Everywhere across the country is about to have a big, huge protest. Pretty much in every city, every place in the country. In LA, there were some protesters, and Donald Trump didn't like it. And so he sent out some National Guard, even though the governor of California didn't ask for them. And then he also sent in Marines, and they're kind of parked up in California. And now the entire country, every city, has protests planned for the rest of this week and this weekend against the ICE arrests. Okay? That's what's happening. Pretty big deal. So hopefully you already went grocery shopping. That's right, Kat. We the people have the right to protest against our government. Yep. Yeah, that's actually really good. Walking on grass more, taking more salt baths, drinking more water, pulling an oracle card every morning. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Okay. You might want to go right now, Angie. So, gracious greetings to you, Kiki. Hey, Alyssa. Barbara asked, what do you think is coming for us? I think I said what I thought was coming for us. We're probably gonna, have some sort of conflict going on here for a while, in this country, in this world. And then I think humans are gonna awaken to the false belief that we are determined or meant to kill each other. I don't think it's natural to want to kill each other. I don't think humans are meant to kill each other. So, Barbara said, how do you accept when someone you love is close to the end? They are no longer in pain, and that's huge, but I don't know how to accept it. My stepdad has terminal lung cancer. Well, I'm sure you don't want him to suffer anymore. And how do you accept? I think you accept that for the sake of his soul, Barbara. I don't think you want his soul to suffer any longer. And the more we accept, the easier it is for them to let go. And I would want to release his soul, and I think that's probably the best way to go about it. So, Kiki asked, is an oracle card the same as a tarot card? Not quite, kind of. Let me show you the difference. So tarot, generally, not all tarot, but most tarot, is based on the Rider-Waite, which is a deck that was written in, I think, in the 20s or something. I might not have the timing right, the year right, but Rider-Waite is a system, a card system that was made sort of around Crowley, Aleister Crowley, if you've ever heard of him. And so tarot has like a system, and so there tends to be like things like the Page of Cups, right? Or the Moon card, right? Okay. And so it all has special meaning. Now, an oracle card is a deck that was made by someone else, that's not based on Rider-Waite usually, and usually they are not like swords, or they don't have these, they're not part of the Rider-Waite system. So instead you might have a different type of system or a different type of thing. And so these are my rose oracles from England, from the Sacred Well in Glastonbury, and this is the rose oracle, pocket oracle, and you can see that like this is the grandmothers, and this is all about the grandmother energy, right? Okay, but then you could pull another card, and it's going to be about the lineage of the rose. Okay, and what's in that picture? This is like a new deck I'm working with, so I'm so glad I pulled it out for you. Oh, I see now. This is like people praying to the rose, praying to the gardens, and the lineage of that, and all the prayers that have come before and gone ahead. All of those. That's what this card is about. And so that's Oracle is a little bit more uh, eclectic, and tarot is a particular system. Okay, but they both usually have the same intention. Okay. Why did I hear angels singing once? And what is my spirit's guides or angels' names, please? You only heard the angels singing once? Probably. Maybe you had an angel suddenly join your team or something. Elisa, I'm not going to be able to tell you what your spirit guide's angel's name is. Astrology is one thing that absolutely validates all that I'm feeling, what I've been feeling and seeing before things happen, which can set my anxiety off. Me too, Alyssa. I totally know all about it. That's why I just listen to other astrologers. And then I just listen to them talk about, Saturn and Aries or something. And then I'm reassured by what they say. Yeah, you can usually find some stuff that feels better. I would agree. Reassuring that I can trust those feelings does wonder for self-care. I would agree, Alyssa. I think astrology is hugely validating in so many different levels and different ways. Kat said, I don't think the Cheeto in office will be there to January. Actually, Kat, based on the astrology, which if you go back and look, I said it in the beginning, his administration probably won't last. We're probably about to revolt right now. The whole country is about to revolt. If has anyone ever played Civilization, the video game? If you piss off your people enough, they will revolt. It's not my favorite way to play, but I've seen people play that way. It's interesting. But usually, when there's a king, eventually there's a revolt, right? So that's what's about to happen. And then we'll move past it and he'll get fired and we'll all laugh. I don't know if it'll happen by January, possibly, Kat. Hopefully. I'm a little worried about going into 2026 with all that energy, because then the planets will be staying in Aries for a little while, and I'm just not sure how we're gonna. Yeah, I just worry about the violence. That's all. But outside of that, I know that we're in a transformational phase, and I just hope that we can all make the best choices for ourselves. Tarot is based on Arcana. Okay. That's kind of what I said, but I gave, if you don't know what Arcana is. He's still fighting, not there yet, but I will let him go when the time comes. Okay, Barbara, good. Kat, I've seen Oracle decks that you can do 3, 6, 12 cards, and I've definitely done a 1-card pool for tarot. Hi, Sienna. No, somebody asked me what the difference between an oracle. Okay, I can draw an oracle card now for the collective. It is a question and answer, though, Sienna. Yes, exactly, Kat. Like, how long have we been? Like, yeah, exactly. Barbara's like, I mean, what did he think would happen? Well, the thing is, Barbara is, I don't think he thinks. And with Mars on his ascendant right now, Mars is transiting his ascendant right now, you guys, and will be for the rest of the week. And it's going to get more intense as the week goes on. Mars is transiting his ascendant. What does that mean? Well, Mars is on his ascendant anyway. So that means that he leads with conflict, which, okay, he's kind of like, none of us would disagree with that. And he's really fiery about it. Not surprised he's orange. I'm serious, because Mars is Mars is a fire planet, and Leo is a fire sign, and it's in Leo. So Mars is in Leo, and it's approaching his ascendant right now. And what that means is that he will probably be quite agitated, angry, and caught in a lot of conflicts. And super impulsive. Exactly, Alyssa. Super impulsive. He doesn't think. No. Yeah. So Barbara said my oracle deck has many different card pulling techniques in this book. Yep. Yeah, I know, Kat. It does feel like that, doesn't it? It feels like we're all on reality TV or something. I hope he gets fired. Right? I mean, if you think about the whole reality TV thing, all you can think about is like you just want to see, you want to see you want to see someone make that video when this is all over. What I keep seeing is I've been seeing it since January, is that like there's a collective people that go, "You're fired," like that. And if you watched his shows back in the 80s and 90s, that's what he would do. He would fire people. So that could happen, Kat. That's not out of the realm either. Mm-hmm. So what I will say is that what is happening right now is difficult, and Alyssa's like booted off the island. Yep. Mm-hmm. As while everything is really intense right now and scary, what's to come after that, I think, is going to be good for all of us. I think people are going to take our freedoms less for granted. And I think people are going to make a bigger effort to understand, teach, and engage in our government. A lot of people have disengaged. Think about it. Since like what? Maybe like 2000? People have just kind of disengaged from American politics. People don't know what's going on. They don't watch the news. I disengaged. I couldn't stand it. It drove me crazy. How many has been like that? Most of us have probably been like that, eh? So, after this guy destroys everything and gets fired, I think Americans will do better at engaging their government, and hopefully not elect any more TV stars, right? So, because he was the dishonest guy on the World Wrestling Federation. Did you guys ever watch wrestling? Probably not, because you're all women. Yeah. So he was $1 million man on the WWF, and he didn't even have $1 million. He lost it all, because I don't know how many times he's failed in business, but yeah. So so it's not fun, and once you understand that what we're going through now is leading us into something better, then it becomes a little bit easier to recognize that where we're headed is a good thing. Yeah, he's been acting since like the 70s. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Barbara. Yep. Media is part of this problem too. Yep. But I can see an active shift in PBS News. I've always been watching PBS News, and they've always been pretty good about, like, they'll have a Republican on and a Democrat. which I respect. But they've made some changes recently too. So Alyssa said, I feel that more are going to think about the collective's needs more as opposed to mainly their own personal wants. I'm really hopeful that more are able to act on that with that mentality after this. That totally makes sense, Alyssa. Yeah. Like, and I think that's already happened a lot with some people that have awakened that are like white, for instance. They're realizing that they have to use their collective to help, people with darker skin. Because some of us know that those other white people are racist, right? Yeah. I don't think it's just political. I think it's in everything, Alyssa. I think it's in our day-to-day lives and how we get along with each other and how we work together at things. And I think that's really what's powerful. And I think when we start to see each other as human beings and less about a black guy or a Latino guy or a girl or a guy, right? If we just start to see each other as human beings, I think we'll be better off. And I think that's where we're headed. And that's kind of what you're talking about there. And to understand that we are all the same, we are all one. And I think that's really the most powerful thing. Hi, Ward. Welcome. We're actually just finishing up. So does anyone else have any other questions? Let's pull an oracle card for the collective right now. Let's use this wonderful rose oracle. And I'm actually going to do, this one has 4 cards, I'm pretty sure. I'm learning, like I explained, I'm learning this deck. Look, I wrote a note to myself. Okay, so there is a 4-card spread in this deck that okay, so I'm gonna look at it one more time. It's right back here. And I don't know if you've ever, like, I just kind of sometimes make up my own spreads too. You don't have to go to a spread that's like in your deck or that, but sometimes if the book has a suggestion on a spread, I will try it, right? Mostly because I like to try new things. I'm always open to new ways and new things. Okay. So the one that I think I'm going to do is called the Rosebud, Thorn, Seed, and Root. And this is a 5-card spread. And I'm just looking at it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So, hey, Missy, welcome. I'm glad you're here. And so let me shuffle this up and I'll do a card for the whole collective. Okay. I'll do a reading for everyone here right now, everyone listening, even in the recording later, everyone listening. Spirit, we could really use some understanding, some insight into what's happening in our country and in our world. There's a lot of fighting, it's very easy to get afraid. It's very easy to get frustrated. And it feels like we're all very vulnerable right now. And I think right now we could use some insight. So, any insight that you can provide the whole community spirit in this moment, that would be great. I'm going to do a 5-card spread. Right. All right. Okay. So the first card, so I pulled out 5 cards and I don't think you guys can really see from there. So I'll just hold them up one at a time, okay? And the first card is, so this is for the Rose Oracle deck. And the first one is the position 1, which is what's blooming, or the possible future outcome. And this is interesting because this is talking about like what's happening right now and what is like sort of blooming in our world right now. And interestingly, I got this card, which is the grandmothers, right? So this is very much about our lineage and where we came from and our perspective. And it says at the bottom, remember your roots, perspective. And you can see sort of all the grandmother faces. I really like this card. And this is what's happening right now. And this is a look at where we came from. And I think that's interesting because right now the astrological things reflect back to some pretty important times in the United States history and in world history. And there were some pretty big events happening back then. And I think one of them was the French and Indian War and the establishment of the United States, and I think the Civil War. And so I think this is a reflection of where we came from, right? And to remember your roots. Because we have to remember, that's why history is so important, right? So that we can remember our roots. And I find that's a little bit of what we've lost, right? We've forgotten history. We've forgotten what has happened. And then therefore we haven't learned from it very well. And I'm so excited to hear young people be so interested in history today, way better than they were when I was a kid. So anyway, that's what's happening right now. That's the first card. And then the second one is what is the bud? This is like, so the position 1 is the rose, and then number 2 is the bud. This is what's full of promise, or the current moment, which is interesting. Notice this, the codes of the seeds. This is like what's written within you, the blueprint of your life, your astrology chart, which is exactly what we've been talking about most of the night. And it says the next step, and I think a lot of people are wondering what is their next step, but it also is about who you're here, why you're here, and what are you supposed to be doing. And that's exactly what this is about. This is a reminder. It's almost like what Kat was talking about, which was the awakening, which is where, like what is happening right now, is kind of triggering something that is within you that you're supposed to bring to the earth, bring to the world. And that's the blueprint within. That's like your astrology chart, right? Okay. That's pretty important. And that's full of lots of promise, because you were put here for a reason, and the universe is kind and loving and wants us to evolve. Now, this is what needs to change. Which I'm laughing because this is also what I've been saying all night, which is it says healing is happening right now. It's already happening. You're not broken. Trust the process. Trust the process. So that means we have to protest. We have to support the protesters. We have to speak out. We have to not run away in fear. We have to stand up for ourselves. We have to stand together. We have to work together. And that's exactly what this is about. This is healing is happening. You're not broken. Trust the process. And isn't that interesting? Is that's what needs to happen right now. And isn't that kind of what I was saying? I think that's kind of what I was saying. Okay. And then card number 4, what requires nurturing, which I'm looking at this going, oh, wow. Wow. The rose garden. Innocence, forgiveness, self-kindness. This is what we need to nurture within ourselves. And maybe we need to nurture the innocent children. You know, I was trying to figure out how much do I tell my grandchildren. I'm homeschooling them. It's kind of my job. And I wasn't sure how much I should tell them. So I guess that's the answer, huh? Innocence, forgiveness, self-kindness. And I think that means like forgiving people, like I was listening to a guy talk who voted for Trump, and now he's realizing that it was a big mistake and that he was lied to. And I can understand why he would be angry about being lied to. And I think that's important too. I think is to understand that some people were under an illusion, some people still are. But that's the forgiveness, right? That's the forgiveness part. They didn't know. They knew not. I don't think anybody that voted for Trump knew what. Well, maybe some people, but most people didn't know what they were doing. Okay. And and at the root of what's happening is that the universe wants us to slow down. So the universe wants us to slow down. Sustainability, slow down. It's because of the way we're handling the earth. The universe we're out of balance, and the universe is asking us to refine balance again. We have to find the balance between humans and the planet and each other. And when one part is off, all parts are off. When one is mistreated, we're all mistreated. And so that's what we need to remember. And so if you're mistreating the earth, then you're mistreating yourself. And so I think that is where we're coming into, is to understand where the balance is, where we can find the balance between each other and in what we're manifesting. Does anyone want to ask a question? I used to take my kids to protest. My grandkids don't know all of what's going on, but they don't like what they do know, so they are also making stencils. Okay, Kat. Right, exactly. You'll babysit. Someone's got to keep the innocent, right, Kat? Exactly. So my grandkids have some idea. I have tried to educate them to the best of my ability. I am a very fair educator, so I will educate both sides of the story. And I've always been like that. And so I've educated them both sides of the story. I mean, being queer, it's hard for me to understand why anyone would support Donald Trump, since he pretty much has tried to attack me and every queer LGBTQ person in the world. But, so my grandkids are aware of it too, Kat. But like, how much do you tell them? You know what I mean? Like, do we need to scare them right now with what's going on? Do we just um, hold them and only tell them when it's necessary? Right? I don't know. Um, I don't know. And I'm navigating this all with you in a new way, just like we all are, and as things unfold. So that's what I can offer you. I feel that is really beautiful. It pretty much reiterated everything I just said, and that it's awakening our roots, and it's reminding of us of who we are and where we came from. It's reminding us that, you know, the United States was established, it was a country that was established in its independence from a king. And seems like we're repeating a version of that now. And then, and that's what has to happen right now. The people have to unite to stand up to what is not right. And you have to listen to the code, your blueprint. So, get your astrology chart read, but, figure out or listen to yourself. Um, and listen to what is written, and just like Kat's listening and she's making stencils and watching the kids, somebody has to watch the kids, right? And so you have to listen to your code. What is your blueprint? We all have a unique one, and going forward, the healing is happening right now, so don't underestimate that healing or what's unfolding in front of us right now. Okay. And as we're going forward, remember to nurture the innocent, to take care of the next generation. They are here for a reason. Carrie, you tried to flush your car in a toilet? All right. And as we go forward, remember that the universe wants us to slow down and get connected and try to find a balance between Mother Earth and each other. So try to find a connection with each other, and try to find how we can connect with each other in a good way. And I did my best today. I know it's a really hard day. Don't underestimate the power of the innocent in hostile times. Interesting, Kat. I will leave us on that little note there. By the way, I'm starting to do these really cool things. If you wanted to see me do an astrology death chart reading, which is where I bring together my mediumship and my astrology together, or maybe you're hoping to win it, you can join our party. What I'm doing is we're doing these like sort of reading parties where I will do a one person that is attending the party wins a mediumship death chart reading, which is unique. I'm the only person that I know of that does it. And so anyway, it's a very unique way to connect to the other side. And I'm going to put the link in the chat for everyone, because it's a pretty cool little party you can register for. You'll get a chance to see me do one of those or do that for you. And then also, after I do that little, the sort of, it will be almost a full reading. When I'm done, then 2 other readers. This Friday, it will be Cheryl and Sarah. They will be doing readings for the rest of the group. And they'll be doing I don't know that everyone will get a reading. It will be all in our timing, because some people just take longer than others, and I can't control that on mediumship. But a lot of the other people, I would say overall, at the minimum, half of the group will get a reading, half of the people in attendance. There is a limit on how many people, but we're doing 2 parties right now. We have 2 planned, one for this Friday and one for next Friday. So the one next Friday will be me and Cheryl and Nicole. Sarah's joining this Friday. So, if you have been wanting to see any of those kinds of things, it's a fun little party. Okay. Yeah. Aunt Alyssa said that's why I'm struggling. That's what I'm struggling with also. All 3 of my kids, but especially my son who is trans, he has a lot of anxiety to the point where he gets physically ill. Yet this time is so uber important for him to understand and know about. So trying to find the balance, keeping him in the know, but keeping stability too. I don't even know what to say, Alyssa, except to keep that boy safe. Okay? Keep him safe. Just keep him safe. Anyway, if you look in the comments, you'll be able to see a link. If you're on a page or something like that, you can go to events and you can see the party on Friday. We'll be doing that on Friday. I look forward to doing that with all of you. And I'll see you next week, maybe at this event. And I still can't figure out what's happened on Discord and why no one can hear me on there, but okay. Anyway, peace out to all of you, and may you be blessed. Bye-bye.